Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Life After Mental Illness. I'm Bill MacPhee, your recovery expert, and recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anyone else other than who you are today. Now in today's vlog, I'm talking about self-esteem and confidence. I'm talking about what it is, what it's not, how to get it, and how it plays a big role in our recovery. Tomorrow, I want you to come back tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to teach you, I'm going to tell you what the secret to recovery really is. The secret of recovery is tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, hi everybody. Like I mentioned in my intro, I'm going to be doing, while I'm getting my hair cut here, my wife Aileen's cutting my hair, and I thought I would take this time to share a couple letters of correspondence, and then talk about one thing that everybody with a mental illness at one time or another deals with, and that's our confidence and our self-esteem. But so I'm gonna talk a little bit about that in this vlog. So first of all, I just want to grab a couple of correspondence that I've got to read to you, and then doing that. So basically, this first letter is I commented on a person's question on one of my vlogs, and he responded to me. So it just says, "Dear Bill, I appreciate your 3/11/17 vlog where you addressed my question about our son's schizophrenic affective illness." So it's supposed to basically be schizoaffective illness. "You made some great points and have caused me to take a firm look at my understanding of this illness and the toll it is taking on my son. My frustration goes nowhere to help him handle the illness. It's my prayer that God will continue to bless your mission to educate family members of those suffering with mental illness. My best to you. Thank you." Well, thank you very much for that letter and that correspondence, and I'm glad I was able to help you and put you on track where you can turn your frustrations into some positive things to help your son. This other letter just basically comes as a result from my time speaking at the Rotary, and you can see that speech that I did at the Rotary in one of our vlogs. Just look at our playlist and that, and you can see that. But it says here, it says, "Hi Bill, I am the Australian guy who was sitting at your table last Wednesday night and purchased your book. I read it over the weekend and was very impressed and inspired by your story. Thanks for coming to speak to our club, and if I have any inquiries for great speakers, I will send them in your direction. My best wishes in your future endeavors and continuing recovery. Regards, Phil." Well, thanks Phil for those kind words, and it truly was a pleasure for me to go to the Rotary Club and to share some of my passion for recovery at the Rotary Club. Okay, so basically what I said I was going to talk about is self-esteem and confidence. And what I want to tell you is that, first of all, what a common thing happens with people with mental illness is that we get stable, whether we find the right medication or however we do that, we get stable where we don't have symptoms, positive symptoms anymore. You know, those voices, those hallucinations, the paranoia, the delusions, all those kinds of things. We don't have that anymore. But what we do have is sort of a mode where we get stuck. We get a stuck mode where we're stuck. We may be stable, but we're stuck. We're not going forward. And it's in this stuck position, the reason why we're in this stuck position is because of a lack of self-esteem and a lack of confidence. And what happens is that many people will say, you know, family members or friends or something will say to a person, you know, "Johnny, do you want to do something? Do you want to set some goals, or do you want to try to improve your life," and things like that. and Johnny will say, you know what, he said, no, leave me alone, I'm fine, just leave me alone. But you see, what that is saying is really deep down, Johnny may have some goals, or he may want to increase his quality of life. But what's blocking that is self-esteem, is a lack of self-esteem and a lack of confidence. And so, because of that, it's hindering the goals that we have. Now, I want to explain a little bit something here. First of all, I want to tell you what self-esteem is and what confidence is. So basically, self-esteem is how we feel about ourselves on the inside. That if we feel good about ourselves, if we like ourselves, and that's how we feel about our self-esteem on the inside. Confidence is basically self-esteem turned inside out. And what I mean about that is that confidence gives us a way of projecting our self-esteem. So confidence is being able to project publicly our self-esteem into confidence. So what I mean by that is that we're able to take, when we have good self-esteem, we're able to take that good self-esteem and to be confident in the world because we're kind of secure with ourselves. But what happens, again, when I said people get stuck, is that they don't know how to increase their self-esteem and how to increase their confidence. And I gotta tell you, that's a major stumbling block. And I'm gonna give you an example. Early in my illness, I can remember going to a Canadian Mental Health Association meeting. And this meeting was, at a hall or a library or something like that. And they had a speaker up there. This speaker had schizophrenia. And this speaker was an architect. And he gave his speech and he talked about his illness. And I was in the audience and I was listening. And then there was questions. And one of the questions that came up, somebody asked the question to them. They asked him, they said, "Did you know that you would beat this illness?" And the person said, "Yes, I knew I would beat the illness because I was too smart for it." Now, I heard that, and this is exactly what I said to myself. I said, "Bill, there's absolutely no hope for you because you're not smart enough to beat this illness." And right there is that lack of self-esteem and that lack of confidence. That's what it does. It's disabling. It's disabling. Now, I want to tell you a couple things, what we have to do to get our self-esteem and our confidence back. What that entails is basically finding things that we're good at, that we're good at. For example, everybody has certain gifts or talents or things that they do better than anybody else. And it's very important when we're dealing with a mental illness that we find those things that are good, those good qualities, those positive qualities, those gifts that we have, those talents that we have. We need to find those talents and gifts, and we need to hone them and polish them and work on them. The things that we cannot do well, we need help with. But the thing is to remember is that the things we can do well, our strengths, let's call them, we need to hone them and polish them. But the things we don't do well, we need a helper or somebody to help us with the things we don't do well. That's the beginning of gaining our self-esteem back. And then once we have our self-esteem, we work on social issues that will bring out our confidence. Now, I know you say, well, that sounds easy. It's easier said than done. That may be true, but I gotta tell you the secret. The secret is sustainability or persistence. We need to be persistent. We need to keep trying and trying and trying. Even though we may try and fail, try this and fail that, the key is persistence, and we have to keep trying. I want to give you a couple examples. You've probably all heard of Jack Canfield. If you haven't heard of Jack Canfield, I'm sure you've heard of his books. Jack Canfield was the author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Remember that book? It's Chicken Soup for the Soul series. It was a bunch of books that are warm-hearted and stories and everything like that. Jack Canfield had that idea and started writing those books. And he went to 144 publishers. 144 publishers turned Jack Canfield down until he found a publisher. 144 turned him down. That Chicken Soup for the Soul series has sold over 500 million copies. 500 million copies that series sold, and 144 people turned them down. Let's look at Edison. How many times did Edison have to try to invent the light bulb? How many material, like tungsten and wires, elements inside the light bulb did he have to try before he created that light bulb? Many, 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 many. And I gotta tell you that persistence is the key. Now, there's one other key as well that's very, very important. We have to have the attitude of saying, there is always a way. There is always a way. We have to get it in our head that there's always a way. Very, very important. Okay, so to wrap up, the things we have in common with a mental illness at one point, everybody has in common, we have a low self-esteem and a low lack of confidence. The fact we really do have goals down underneath, but it's that lack of self-esteem and that lack of confidence that's holding it under. We need to be persistent. We need to find our gifts and our talents and hone them. We always got to believe that there's always a way, and we have to, find help and work on that. So that's my vlog today about confidence and self-esteem. I read about my book, and you might want to get my book. It's very, very popular. I'm sure 100% it's going to help you in so many ways. Just go to my website, BillMacPhee.recoveryexpert.com, and you'll find that there. And I'm just going to close here right now, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you my finished product of my haircut, and I'm going to thank my wife Aileen for cutting my hair. So I'm going to say bye for now, but I'm going to be right back in a flash. Okay folks, I'm back with the finished product. Aileen, thank you so much for cutting my hair. And remember folks that there is life after mental illness, and recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anyone other than who you are today. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now. Hi, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And also be able to send me your questions at bill@billmacphee.ca. As well, for more information, go to BillMacPhee.recoveryexpert.com. Links will be in the description below. Come back for another vlog tomorrow, and remember, recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anybody else other than who you are today. And there is life after mental illness. Have a great day.